Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Padfoot Live Get Training. Here for another week. I'm James.
Courtney.
And today we're going to be talking to you about a few things. We wanted to start off with a bit of it's one that's a bit of fun for us, really, and it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but we want to talk about the things that really irritate dog trainers. You know, these are the sort of questions we get over and over again, or the sort of behaviours we see people demonstrating over and over and over again, and we end up sitting there with our head in our hands, crying in the corner, you know, generally with a large drink, just sort of going, why? So we want to have a little bit of fun and talk about a few of those things, just get you guys thinking about some of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
In the masterclass section today, we wanted to really talk about how you can understand your dog's behaviour better, some techniques you can use. You know, we talk a lot about, you know, how to use what's in their environment to motivate them, you know, to understand what's in the environment that may be affecting their behaviour, and also to understand their response to these things in the environment. So we wanted to talk to you about some techniques we use, you know, to really help us understand those kind of things. And in the trick section of the week, it was Buddy's birthday this week. Buddy's turned 8, I believe, 8?
Yes,
Yep.
8
So what we've done today
is
we brought along Buddy and his brother Jimmy, you know, to come and just talk to you a little bit about, you know, how to have some fun, you know, with some simultaneous behaviours with two dogs. So Courtney will do her best to demonstrate.
See what mood they're in this morning.
Yeah. I think birthday boy, you know, it was probably a late night for them. Yeah, they may be feeling a little bit shady.
Oh yeah, Buddy, you know, he's so deprived of sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so to get us started, really wanted to talk this week about the things that as dog trainers really irritate us. This is the what shits us section, basically.
Yes.
Sorry kids, it's the what shits us section. Okay, so I think maybe I'll get Courtney to start. Dominance theory. Tell me about dominance theory, Courtney.
Dominance theory. Some of the most painful things that James and I have to listen to are people coming and telling us about how they're the alpha, or they want to be the alpha of their dog, or they don't want to play tug with their dog because, well, you know, isn't that, you know, letting them win? Isn't that letting them be alpha? Or they don't want the dog on the bed or on the couch or inside the house or eating before them because they're all worried about this. I just want to tell people, like, just stop. Don't worry about it. Like, your dog is very well aware that you are not a dog. That's the first point I want to make. So even if, you know, we want to, of course there is, dominance exists within animals, but dominance theory as we know it has been disproven. So there's a few reasons why. The studies that they originally did where they came up with dominance theory were on captive wolves.
And flawed.
100%. So we now know, years on, that captive wolves don't behave the same way as a wild wolf would. They just don't. No. They don't have the ability to.
And
right?
there was also captive wolves that weren't related, and captive wolves of a particular type of wolf that has no DNA reference to domestic dog.
It's a very big jump to say, you know, that this is the way wolves in captivity in these very unnatural environments behave, and then go, well, this is how, you know, well then that's how dogs behave because they're genetically linked. Dogs do only vary genetically by 0.02%, I believe. Yeah. But most of that is, to be perfectly honest, that difference is the mental and the appearance, right? So that's a big thing. The second thing is we aren't wolves, we aren't dogs. Your dog knows that we are not a dog. So they aren't going to respond to you and behave with you the same way they would with another dog. And to think that they would is, in my opinion, just a little bit silly. I mean,
It clearly just shits Courtney.
It's mind-boggling to me. So what we work on here, so our philosophy and what we try to work on is it's called learning theory. We can now recognize, and there's a ton of science to back this up, this is not just James and I pulling things out of our head, that dogs can learn that there are consequences, either negative or positive, to different behaviors, and can therefore make decisions. So what we are trying to do is create a relationship with our dog where we can communicate and make it very black and white what those consequences are. If we make it super, super, super clear, I mean, why would your dog choose anything other than the path of least resistance?
Yeah.
right? Like, so a lot of the times I think, the issues that people have are not their dog trying to be obstinate or dominant or anything like that. It's a lack of communication and sometimes a lack of relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not going to be fixed by alpha rolling your dog or biting them on the ear or putting in these ridiculous rules of they can't walk through the door before you, all that. It's not going to fix it.
No. The way I look at it, guys, I mean, ultimately, dogs are pack animals. They're pack animals within a related pack generally. So within your household, you have a pack. Ultimately, you have yourself, and even though, as Courtney says, your dogs know that you're not dogs, you're still part of their unit, still part of their pack. Within packs, obviously you have leaders, you have subordinates, and so on. And this is the way I tend to see, the dynamics between myself and our dogs. It's teamwork, basically. We're a team. We're operating as a team. We learn and we train as a team. I'm the leader in that team.
Yes.
We exist in a human world. I have to be the leader in that team because I've got better chance of comprehending that world than my dog has.
Yeah.
And my dog knows that. And so it's on me to really work out how to communicate, using the learning theories Courtney mentioned, with my dog to make sure my dog knows, I've got this. The instructions or the guides that I give it are the right ones for its own welfare, and that sort of thing. Okay?
Yep.
It doesn't need me to alpha roll them, to do anything like that. Go around biting them on the tail or the ear or anything like that at all.
Very honestly. The other point I got lost on before was, okay, so dogs, I mean, in the actual wild, if you look at wild dogs, so you would you have good comments on this, dingoes, all that kind of stuff, your street dogs, they have a much more fluid fluid pack structure, right? So in wolves, only the two most alpha animals will mate, right? That is a fact, that's true. In dogs, that's not a thing.
No.
And in different situations, you'll find that one dog may become above the other. In some situations, Buddy can be the most alpha, but a lot of the time he is. But he pulls his weight, but most of the time he is the most submissive in my pack, and it just it's good to then. I think if you get stuck on thinking that one dog is permanently the alpha, you're missing out on so much. You need to be looking at each individual situation and interaction.
So basically, if you've bought into that old school philosophy, in summary, please understand that the science has been proved wrong.
Yes.
Please understand there are more contemporary methods we use nowadays that have a lot stronger science.
If you like references, let us know.
Behind them, we can provide you with loads of references. If this is unclear to you or doesn't make any sense to you, please do come and talk to us about it. We're more than happy to talk about this sort of thing. Okay, the next one. The next one that's on my list that shits me is the use of harnesses. People use harnesses often. I often see, and when I see people, I mean, don't get me wrong, harnesses have a use, and we sometimes recommend them for people.
Dogs.
They're useful for dogs that have to pull things. They're useful for dogs where you have to physically manhandle and lift off the shelves, like military dogs, or where they have to carry equipment or body armour or anything like that. They're also quite useful in dogs that are very, very strong. Their owners can't control them, can't control their power, and have a front attaching connection, because that helps take the power of them. That's got a use. A little tiny dog, or any sort of size dog, in a little pretty harness, prancing around, we often talk to the owner. So why are you using the harness? Oh, well, to protect their neck. Okay, so basically they're pulling. They're pulling on the lead, and so rather than teach them to avoid the pressure around their neck, which is arguably easier to do, we can teach them to avoid that. You've actually just put them in something that's more comfortable for them to pull in.
Yeah, you've gone, oh, you want to pull? All right, cool. We'll make it easy for you.
I'm going to help you do that. Here, get your shoulders behind this, son.
Put your back into it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and they're going, well, my dog pulls. Yeah.
Because it's comfortable for it to do it.
Exactly. There's no reason for any of you guys, unless you've got a great, big, powerful dog that has not learnt yet and that you can't control physically, to be using a harness unless it's in some kind of working situation or something like that.
And one comment I want to add to that is, guys, one of the biggest issues that James and I have to deal with or help people deal with is leash reactivity.
Yeah.
A harness is one of the best surefire ways to build that in your dog.
Yeah.
People, I think, people don't see it, but we always tell people, we hammer them about the loose lead, right?
Yeah.
It's really, really, really important. So it doesn't matter if your dog's on a harness or a collar. If you constantly have them walking on that tight leash, the situation might be at a 5 normally, right, when they meet a dog, let's say. Then you sitting there hanging on that lead, applying all that pressure and frustration on their neck, you're taking that up to a 7. Then something happens and it kicks it off and it goes all the way to the 10 and you have a reaction. That's one of the biggest reasons I would avoid them. It's just, it is important to teach your dogs how to walk on that leash nicely so that we aren't adding frustration into their lives. A lot of people will say like, oh, you know, the dog likes pulling. They don't want to train it to stop pulling because, oh, well, the dog likes doing this. Does it really though, or is your dog super stressed out and kind of anxious at the end of the lead the whole walk?
Exactly.
It's taking that human emotion out and, you know, thinking about what your dog actually needs.
So please, you know, like with everything in dog training, guys, you know, just think things through first. You know, just run the logic through in your mind.
And if you're not sure about something, ask us, please.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there are lots of things we can do, you know, with your dogs to make sure they're not damaging, you know, their neck with, you know, with other techniques.
So we don't want that to happen either.
No, of course not. But, you know, substituting it for something that they find easier to continue, that almost rewards that pulling behaviour because you've now facilitated it, is not great.
And a lot of those harnesses too, guys, talking about damaging a dog, they can really do a number on their posture and their legs and their shoulders.
Exactly. So again, if you want to talk to us about that, please do. The next one, it's very cold here today.
So cold.
The next one I'm going to talk about, because this is one that really shits me, is bark suppression training. And then after that, I'll let Courtney talk about walking.
Yes.
But basically, bark suppression training, there's a lot of trainers around, lots of them on the coast. You know, that you've got a dog that barks, you think that's bad, you know, you're worried about your neighbours. And they market themselves, they say, oh yes, we can come out and we can stop your dog from barking. Yeah, sure, I could come out, you know, and I could easily charge you $500 and stop your dog barking in an hour just by basically punishing it every time it barks. It'll soon learn that's not an outlet, you know. Those techniques, those methods, they're not solving the problem. They are addressing the symptom, but they are not addressing the problem. If you've got a dog that's compulsively barking for some reason, you've got to look at its environment, its enrichment. You know, you've got to understand what might be psychologically causing that behaviour. In a lot of cases, it's boredom, and it's habituated.
What's the goal of the barking?
It's habituated boredom. They don't even know they're doing it. They're just doing it because it's something to do. If they're in other cases where they're barking, it's actually a warning. It's a warning system. You know, that they are either protecting their territory, or they're saying to that person, that dog, no, I don't want to be friendly.
I feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable. Back off. You know, you suppress that. And ultimately, you're giving them no bridging behaviour between their discomfort and a bite reaction. You know, it is as simple as that. You know, if your dogs are nuisance barking, you know, to the extent where the council are getting involved and so on and so forth, please do contact us. We'll be more than happy to come out and help you address that problem. But what we won't be doing is coming out and just aversing the shit out of your dog to stop it barking without addressing the underlying cause, because that is unethical, that is wrong. There's people up here on the coast that do that. If you want those people, please go and see them, not us. You know, because frankly, we're just not, you know, going to get involved.
Yeah, and I mean, we've said before, there's not a lot for us to actually, advice that we can give on a show like this, because barking is such a complex issue. It's different case to case, and we need to figure out why your individual dog is barking. So
exactly. But you know, ultimately, guys, and sorry, this is one that really, really shits me. If you love your dogs, you know, get people like us out, you know, to help you address the problem. Don't get out some of the people that are just going to zap your dog, put a citronella on your dog, you know, smack your dog in the nose every time it utters, you know, it dares to utter a sound. You know?
We're not force-free trainers at all.
No.
But there's a time and a place for punishment, and there's definitely time and place where punishment is not appropriate.
Yeah, and punishment is a learning, you know, it's a learning tool, but it's based around, you know, it's appropriate thereof, you know. You've got to make sure that the underlying cause is addressed.
Yes,
I
agree.
First.
100%.
Because if you're not doing that, you're just disadvantaging your dog. I mean, look, here's an example, right? Take yourself, you're going into a meeting, you've got to go and present in a meeting. You know, you're all nervous, you're walking in with your boss, you know, you're jabbering away, you know, because you're nervous. We all know those people. Yeah. Your boss just turns to you and he goes, shut up or you're fired. Is that going to help you in the situation where you've got to go and present? Or is that going to make it worse? It's, in my mind, it is exactly the same thing, guys. Basically, we're saying, I don't care what your problem is, just shut up. Okay, is that going to help my internal tension?
Just going to internalise it, and then you do get a doggy snaps.
Exactly. So, that's our thoughts on that. Again, happy to discuss that.
Yeah, sure.
Right, I'm going to get off my high horse for a minute, and Courtney can talk about walking.
Okay, so
etiquette.
2 points we want to talk about here with walking. So, the first point we want to make is, I mean, this is kind of a hotly debated topic, I would say, between trainers in the world, right? You'll either have trainers who say your dog, when they're on a walk, should be completely focused, they shouldn't be sniffing, they should be at a heel, obviously loose lead, we agree on that point at least.
Yeah. Fun for the dog.
Yeah, and you know, to be perfectly honest, you know, a little bit robotic walking next to you. We have a little bit of a different opinion. So when I walk my dogs, for instance, they have to follow the laws of the land, which are they need to stay on my left side and the leash needs to stay slack. But I am totally happy for them to go out and sniff all the posts and the trees and the grass, as long as when I say we're moving on, we move on, right? As long as it's a nice, easy, casual walk for me, I'm happy. I go out specifically because I would like my dogs to have that mental enrichment, go and check the little message boards along, you know, in the neighborhood, all the little trees that every dog stops and pees on. I think it's super, super, super important to their mental health and their enrichment. So I mean, my other point is, but then if I ask my dogs to heel, or if we're working, 100% I have them in that position. If I'm going to walk through a large crowd, or there's a whole bunch of kids on scooters and bikes or something like that, and I don't want their leash out in the way, of course I tell them to heel and they walk nice and tight for a little bit. But, you know, I would argue if you're walking with your dog in the heel the whole time, you need to at least take some time out of that walk to let them be free. Have that, just let them be a dog, right?
I mean, otherwise, stop pretending, guys, that it's fun for your dog. Stop pretending, oh look, we're going to take Rover out for a nice walk because that's going to be great for him. If you're holding him a heel all the time, or banging on his lead every time he wants to sniff something, or dragging him along, that is no fun for Rover. That is you going and getting your exercise. You know? And
I mean, you can do a training session like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, you know, I would say, exactly. Call it what it is. It's a training session and not just, you know, a nice leisurely stroll.
Yeah, exactly right. And so, you know, we tell people in class all the time, if your dog, you know, he can't walk properly at heel yet, you know, on a loose lead, you're until they can do that reliably, you're never taking them for a walk. You are always on a training session.
100%.
You can take them for a run, you can take them to an off-leash area and let them have a run and get some exercise. You know, there's lots of things you can do to give them the exercise and the enrichment.
People seem to think that when we say consistency is important, they seem to discount the walking on the leash. It is hard in the beginning, guys. 100%, it's annoying. You go out for 20 minutes, you only get 100 metres down the road, potentially. But it is so, 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 so worth it with your dogs. If you never let anything good happen when they're pulling at the end of that lead, so how we always stop, right? Forward motion stops, they don't get to what they're trying to pull to, none of that. If they never have an experience where pulling is rewarding for them, then you...
But use
just,
that. And this is a bridge onto we'll cover a little bit in the masterclass section, but use that. If they're trying to pull towards that lamppost, stop. As soon as the lead goes slack, take them on a slack lead to that lamppost. Reward them with that.
Reward that behaviour of coming back in.
Because you're saying, because then you're saying to them, okay, I understand you. I understand you want to go and do that. You want to go and see that, but you don't get there by pulling. You get there.
That's not how you get it.
By coming with me over to it.
Yes.
Simple as that.
And that's a lot of that relationship building that James and I are talking about too. Comes into it. So the other thing we're going to talk about is manners when you're out walking your dogs, guys. So first thing first, on the Sunshine Coast specifically, guys, if there is not a sign saying that you're allowed to have your dog off lead, your dog has to be on lead. This is one thing that does bug me a lot, because we do have clients that have reactive dogs and they're doing their best to try to fix those problems. And I don't care how friendly your dog is, like I really don't care how friendly it is, it just should be on a lead and on lead areas, because people go to those areas specifically. There's plenty of off-leash areas for you to go and enjoy. So, and I mean, if you do have your dog off-leash in an on-lead area, you need to be damn sure that if another dog is walking through on a lead, that you can recall your dog and they're not going to go harass that other dog. Because that's what, I'm going to segue into. I would say there is never an appropriate time to let your dog approach a person or a dog without asking permission first.
That's a lovely segue.
Would you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
This is a nice segue.
Yeah. There's no reason ever that you should ever let your dog approach someone or another dog without permission. I don't care, again, how friendly your dog is or how friendly that Labrador on the other side of the sidewalk looks. Just ask.
Yeah.
How hard is it if both dogs are friendly to just go, hey, does your dog want to say hello?
But this also works both ways.
Yes, I was just going
Please.
to get to that.
Sorry.
No, you're right.
No, carry on.
Yeah, but 100%, yeah. So also, people are out there training their dogs and trying to build confidence. Some dogs are afraid of strangers. Need to ask. Teach your kids to ask. It's going to save them from getting bitten. The person with the dog is going to appreciate it so much.
Yeah.
Even if they're not even dangerous. Sometimes
just
we're just...
ask permission,
Yeah.
guys.
They're not public property.
We hear all the time, I love dogs. It's not about you. It's about the dog. Maybe that dog...
And if you do love dogs, I mean, it's a harsh thing to say maybe, but you'll understand that they need respect.
Yeah, exactly. And just check with the owners. Just say, is it okay if I say hello to your dog? What a beautiful dog. Can I say hello? And they may say yes.
Yeah,
or they
might
may say, oh look, he's not very happy.
Or he's in training because they're trying to have a dog who's
it could be anything.
A happy member of society who's not jumping at people on the sidewalk.
So just think about it in those terms, and teach your kids the same thing. I mean, the most instances we see of kids getting bitten are where they've suddenly approached a strange dog, without warning, and have kind of piled in on it because they love dogs.
Yeah, and
Maybe they've
also
got a
please
dog at
don't
home,
teach your kids that if a dog's tail is wagging, they're happy.
No, exactly.
That's one of the biggest issues too, is a kid will see a dog wagging its tail, but I mean, it becomes a very individual thing for each dog, their body language. Some dogs will 100% wag their tail right up to the moment that they bite you right in the face.
Yep.
So that's another reason. Even if a dog looks super friendly, you'd want to check, right? Because a dog bite can be nasty.
Exactly right. Okay, so I think that's enough on
we
shits
rambled
this
a
week.
lot.
Yeah, we rambled a lot, but it's quite fun for us to talk about this stuff.
Yeah. It's a good vent.
Yeah, I feel. There we go.
Weight off my shoulders.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, masterclass section. So I wanted to talk very briefly about, and I'll try and keep it brief, about assessing behaviour. So using the example before of what we were using on the walk, and and saying, right, okay, we know that the dog is trying to get to that lamppost. That's all about us observing our dogs, and that's what I encourage you all to do, is really pay attention. When you're training your dogs, when you're out with your dogs, observe their behaviour. The more you can understand about what motivates
get
them,
to know them,
but also what scares them, what stresses them, and so on, the more you can use those things to help teach them. You can build their confidence, or decrease their stress.
Yes.
You can use you can build solid behaviours by using bigger rewards, by using what's available at the time. One of the ways that I like to do this, and I use this particularly when a dog is barking a lot and straining a lead at another dog, it can be very hard to tell sometimes whether that dog is being aggressive
or just frustrated,
or frustrated or excited or whatever. What I like to do in these instances is video the dog. I use a lot of video work, with my dogs and with clients' dogs, and it's as simple as, in that instance when the dog's, regardless, when the dog's doing anything. So if we go for a walk with a dog, I'll video it. And then what I'll do afterwards is I'll turn the sound off, and then I'll watch back that video.
Body language.
Because then I'm much better at reading what the dog wants. So I can watch a dog on a walk on the video and go, okay, yeah, it's motivated by that. It's motivated by that. Oh, it's a bit nervous about that. It's not liking the motorbikes. It's not liking the cars. Or in the case of some dogs, some perfectly friendly dogs have big boy aggressive barks. It can influence your understanding. If you watch it on the video afterwards, you can kind of go,
German Shepherds are a good one.
Yeah,
More bark, no bite.
Exactly. In a lot of cases, you can go, no, that's not aggression. That is, frustration. It wants to go and play. It wants to, it gives you a much better understanding just by taking the sound out.
Yeah, I would agree.
So just one little tip there. If you're not fully sure on what's motivating your dog, what's stressing your dog, or what your dog's reaction means, try videoing it, turning the sound off, watch it back. See what you think. You'll get more insight by doing that. Okay?
I would agree.
Anything to add to that?
No. Yeah. Just be self-critical, and then if you're really still struggling with that, I think come and have a chat to us.
All right. Well, if you want to go and get the boys to do the trick, I'll just talk a little bit about. So, while Courtney's getting organised, just a reminder for everybody, a little bit of housekeeping. We've got our next round of classes starting Sunday the 19th here at Butter and Mountain State School Oval. So we've got a couple of programs running. We've got our foundation program running between 8 and 11:30 on a Sunday morning and 6:30 p.m. on a Wednesday evening. We've also got our new advanced level training. For those people who've been through our foundation course and want to progress on through our advanced program, which has now got 5 stages to it that are going to be very, very kind of tightly assessed for progressions. We're also running those sessions on Sundays starting the 19th of July at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. We've also got our training club as usual, 7 a.m. Saturdays, Sundays at 6:30 p.m. on Mondays.
Yep.
So if you're interested in any of those things, please go to our website at padfoot.com.au and we would love to have you join us there. So like I said, the next round of training courses starts the 19th of July, runs for 6 weeks, costs $99. We have a maximum of 12 dogs per group with 2 trainers. So we try and make sure that we really provide a lot of time. Linda, how much experience have we had with Dutch Shepherds? Not as much as I'd like. We've got some experience with them, and we certainly understand the breed. And my next dog is going to be a Belgian Shepherd. My wife already knows that because I keep on mentioning that.
Sorry, Melissa.
Yeah, sorry, Melissa, but that is what we're getting. So look, if you've got a Dutch Shepherd, Linda, we would love to have you bring him or her along because we think they're just marvellous dogs. Okay, right. That's enough about me. Courtney is now going to talk about a little bit of simultaneous trickery.
Awesome, guys. So I'm going to do just a little bit of an easy demo of these guys, of just some skills that they already know, getting them to do it together. So it's really important, guys, before you start trying to train 2 dogs together, that each dog has really been through and knows the skill individually rock solid. So you're off lures, you're all, they know their markers, they know the word, they're happy to do it and hold it in a little bit of duration, then pull out the other dog, because that's a massive distraction, because they start to get into this whole thing of like competition for treats, right? And you'll see with these 2, they're always worried that, the other one's going to get both treats. So it is a really good skill to have and teach them that they don't have to worry about it. If you have dogs with resource guarding issues, definitely, have a chat to us and let's work through those first before you start trying to do this. Prevent food right in front of 2 dogs' faces. All right, you guys ready? Come on. Come. Good. Stay. Drop. Yeah. Stay. Can you straighten up? There we go. Are you going to do another drop for me? Buddy drop. Buddy drop.
As you saw, Jimmy anticipated there.
Yes, he did. So these are some of the issues. I'll talk about that in a second. Yes! Good boys! Good boys! Alright, so that was a brief little demo, but there was actually some good stuff in there that I want to talk about first. So yes, 100% you saw there, I asked Buddy to drop and Jimmy dropped too. So that's a big one. So in past videos I've talked about training 2 dogs and bringing in those names for each hand signal. So if I was really trying to push it just then, I would have told him off for that. So I left him in a sit, I asked Buddy to drop, I didn't ask him to drop. And then if he stayed in that sit while I asked Buddy to drop, I would reward him for staying in that sit and ignoring that other command. So again, guys, I'm not going to get shitty at him because it's a communication error, right? Like, he's trying to do what I'm asking him to do. I'm never going to get mad at him for that. That's on me, really. Like, that just shows me I need to go home probably this afternoon and do a refresher course on training them both with each other, getting them used to ignoring a command when it's for the other dog. But yeah, you can see, so, and also the other one was, Jimmy didn't want to straighten up on that cup. So I called him in, and because Buddy was sitting right in front of me, he came in at that angle. So again, I made him kind of fix that up and come in straight. That's probably not an issue I would have if I was training him on his own, but that's a weakness that kind of comes out when I have him with another dog. I'm a trainer who likes to, if I see a weakness in my dog, if I identify it, I'm going to push that and I'm going to work through it, because I think that's how you get the strongest dog. A lot of trainers out there will tell you, if you're having an issue with something, avoid it, and I just don't think that's how anyone should live their life, to be perfectly honest.
No, exactly. Okay, guys. I'm quite uncomfortable. I was standing on the wrong side of it now.
Yeah, I'm on the wrong side. No, OCD.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so have a great week, everyone. That's the end of the show for today.
Yes.
Please do join us here 8 a.m. next Saturday for Padfoot Live Get Training. And remember, if you want to join our next round of foundation classes, or if you've been with us before and want to progress on your dog training journey, then please do go to the website
We
and
have
sign
some
up.
great stuff planned.
Yeah, for our course starting the 19th, Sunday, the 19th of July. Okay, great.
Awesome.
Have a good one. Take care,
you
guys.
next
See
week,
you.
guys.
Bye.